If you've noticed children seem unusually irritable, anxious, or exhausted lately, it is easy to blame too much screen time. But as of early 2026, researchers have tracked these symptoms back to a completely invisible culprit: the global climate crisis. A study published in Nature Sustainability in February 2026 put a name to this phenomenon. They call it childhood sleep erosion. The data reveals that our warming planet is systematically stripping away restorative hours of sleep from the next generation. Nighttime heat has crossed the threshold from our streets into our bedrooms, disrupting the hormonal rhythms that drive childhood development. To understand why heat ruins sleep, look at the pineal gland. It secretes melatonin, regulating our internal clock. This hormone critically requires a drop in core body temperature. Above 25 degrees Celsius, the body cannot shed heat. The internal thermometer stops dropping, stalling melatonin release. This leaves the body trapped in a state of hyperarousal. A child in a hot room stays locked in full wakefulness because their biological systems perceive the trapped heat as a physical emergency. A sweltering bedroom chemically paralyzes the exact biological systems required to initiate and maintain sleep. Physical comfort is a secondary concern. The body's internal clock is actively stalled. So why does this biological failure strike young, developing bodies so much harder than fully grown adults? It comes down to a child's surface-to-mass ratio. Children have a much higher surface area relative to their overall body mass, meaning their bodies absorb environmental heat significantly faster than ours do. This physical vulnerability collides directly with the urban heat island effect. Dense concrete and asphalt absorb solar radiation all day and slowly release it at night, effectively choking cities with trapped heat. According to a 2024 UNICEF report, extreme nighttime heat waves will soon be the standard living condition for millions of children across South Asia. For most lower-income families living in these densely packed urban centers, there is absolutely no escape from the relentless ambient heat radiating through their homes. In contrast, wealthy households can purchase a microclimate by running air conditioning to create localized artificial cooling. Access to the biological necessity of sleep has fractured along economic lines, driven entirely by the geography of heat. The biological damage caused by these sweltering nights is highly measurable. March 2025 data from pediatric research tracks exactly what happens to the developing brain when ambient heat stays high. Rising nighttime temperatures directly impact sleep quality. For every 10 degrees Celsius increase, a child's deep sleep declines by 3%. This loss interrupts synaptic pruning, the process where a growing brain clears useless data to solidify important memories. It also halts the release of vital growth hormones, which are strictly secreted during these deepest phases of the sleep cycle. The very next morning, these microscopic biological failures show up in the classroom as severe cognitive exhaustion, poor memory retention, and behavioral issues. A 3% deficit in deep sleep creates the razor-thin margin between a healthy, productive childhood and irreversible developmental stunting. Beyond the physical exhaustion, a compounding psychological layer is making matters worse: eco-anxiety. The State of India's Environment 2026 report found that 67% of youth are already aware that climate change is actively degrading their daily lives. We easily recognize traditional climate disasters like floods or wildfires. The slow-motion disaster of sleep erosion happens quietly in the dark. As extreme heat becomes standard, we have to ask, must sleep health be integrated into national climate adaptation and public health policies? A nation cannot secure its future workforce or social stability if the next generation is stripped of the sleep they need to grow.